Hello, hello, hello. Sienna, check the live and the sound for me. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. We'll be getting started shortly. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. Okay, thank you. Tell your brother to go eat. Joe, go eat. I could have did that. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. We'll get started shortly. Ah. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. We'll get started in just a bit. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you guys for joining the live. We'll get started in just a minute. Just a minute. Hey, hey. What we trading? We're looking at Forex pairs today. How you doing? How you doing, Bailey? Hey. Hey guys, I made a post on how you guys can join the community for free for the first 30 days. Whenever we get off a live, y'all can go check it out and come on into the Discord. Glad to be here early. I'm glad you made it early. I appreciate you for that. I really do. We'll start at about 8:20. About 8:20. We'll give it a few more minutes. So Bailey, what questions do you have? Are you new to day trading, or do you already day trade? Do you have a pair you want to mark up? You two, Fortunas? Fortunas. Anybody on here? That question is for all of you. What questions? Any questions? No questions, just little. Okay. Live disconnection thing. So y'all gonna hear that a couple of times throughout. I apologize. Can y'all see my pinned comment? Cause I don't even see it anymore. At the moment you're only trading what? I didn't see it. Let me see. You're a year in? Okay. Definitely stay in demo until you get it. And then Fortuna, you said at the moment you're only trading those two. What two? And that's Kaya. gold and Nas. Are you new at trading? Because gold and Nas are difficult for beginners. I love Nas, but gold sometimes still gives me a little bit of a hard time. If I don't see like clear structure, I don't want to touch. I won't touch it. 3 years in, okay, yeah, you're good. Why is she barking? Not they telling her to shut up. She barely barks. What are y'all doing to her? Gold is something else. Yeah, that's why I said everybody kept talking about it yesterday. I'm like, nah, I got a clear point that I want to buy from. It's there's a fair value gap on the weekly. You can easily get 100 point, rejection off of gold off of that and be in and out. It's too scary to trade. Right, I'll leave it alone. Hey Chris. Hey Shay. I don't want to have to keep pinning this. So I'll do it one more time. Or maybe I can put it on the chart. Because I didn't know they only stayed on for a couple of seconds. I can't even copy it. Mm. Yeah, Nas. No, Nas is good once you get the hang of it. Nas is a beautiful pair once you get the hang of it. And like I said, you can get those easy, 100 points a day, easy on Nas. I don't even know what all I said. All right, we'll put that over in the corner. All right, guys, it's 8:22. I'm gonna get started. Double check, make sure. If I click this, it's not gonna go off. All right, hey guys, hey Wealth family. If you are new into the room, my name is Sierra, the Wealth Empress. I am your day trading, credit, and funding strategist. And today we are just going to go over the chart, see what's going on, see if we can find some entries. All right, so yesterday we went over this odd CAD trade last night. I'm not sure if anyone that was here last night took it. Y'all let me know. Doesn't seem like it. Well, we caught an easy 38 pips and it looked like it dropped down here to this fair value gap right here or some additional pips perfectly to the T. But I took it to the 50%, but that was nice. 73 pips. But we caught 38. And we caught this one because this was a weekly CRT move. This was a weekly CRT move. So as you can see, this wick right here, let me zoom in. You see how this wick right here is higher than this wick? So this was last week's candle. You took it, Chris? Cool. I'm glad you took it. This was last week's candle. And with the CRT range, all we're looking for is basically the high or the last candle's low to be swept, and then come back into the range and wait on a gap. And we got all of our confirmations to enter this trade. I'm not sure what I did with that. Let's bring that back over here. And this is what happens when you wait on your confirmations. You get beautiful trades. Beautiful trades that you don't have to stress about. I literally went to bed last night. Why I keep losing this? I literally went to bed last night and woke up and I was like, ooh, this is moving nicely. And it hit TP. So we caught oddcast. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to scan the market and look for some more trades for us to take. All right. So currently, everyone in the group is in NZD CAD. Do I have to copy that with every time? Hold on. Trying to keep that on the screen, but it's starting to get annoying. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it. Sometimes I take trades overnight. Sometimes during the daytime, just whenever the setup presents itself. But the foreign exchange market is open 24/5. So, yep, if I get some confirmations during Asia session, I'm definitely gonna take it. All right, so I caught this NZD CAD trade for the group. I didn't post it to TikTok. I was busy today. I'm sorry, guys. Also, we didn't do live trading because I forgot I had a meeting this morning. Yeah, so that's how that went. But I took this trade because I had a trend line break and retest, right? So a valid trend line, you need 2 rejection points. This was our first one. This was our second one. Price traded underneath it, and it consolidated at our 50% of our weekly for a little while. It also created a fair value gap. And I was a little iffy about this section, so I decided to wait. And then we got price created a low. If I draw it, it's going to bring everything back. Price created a low right here. And also a fair value gap. You see that fair value gap? So it broke structure to the downside and it gave me a gap. So I was like, ooh, easy. I'm getting back. I'm getting in this. So I marked up my 50%, which is these purple lines. Price traded a little bit higher. So I have 3 entries actually running on this one. And I'm taking it down to my weekly low. And I also see a fair value gap right here near my weekly low. Right here. So I do not suggest you get in this because we're already up. Where are we? We're already up 38 pips. So we're just going to wait on the rest of this to run. And let's go ahead and look at something else. All right, so NZD USD. I thought I saw, well, I did have a minor structure break and retest right here. As you see, we have this trend line right here, and then price came on top of it. What do fair value gaps mean? So fair value gaps is just a imbalance in the market. It's when the market makers come in and they push volume so fast that it leaves a gap. So normally, as you can see, all these candles leave wicks and they trade back into each other. And as you can see right here, you have a gap and you have a gap right here. So normally you want to wait for price to come back to 50% of the gap and then show you some kind of rejection. So as you can see, it rejected right here, but it didn't respect it. But you still could have entered this position and you still actually would be in the trade because stop loss goes at the bottom of the candle that gave you the gap. Now, the only reason why I haven't entered all CHF yet is because I had a gap right here on my 4-hour. Y'all see that? This gap right here. And price came close to the 50%, but it didn't touch the 50%. So I didn't want to get faked out because price could easily come back down and touch this and then shoot up and break this trend line. Hey, how you doing? If you don't like it, quit looking. Okay, so I didn't want to get faked out. So I'm going to wait on price to either come down into this 4-hour fair value gap and fully touch the 50%, or I'm going to wait for price to get on top of this trend line and retest it, and then I'm taking it higher. All right, so currently price is just trading inside last week's candle range. NZD USD. So we had this minor structure break and retest, and I saw this gap and I did enter and I got stopped out, but it was a 6 pip. Really it was only 4.8 pips, but mine was 6 pips. It was a 6 pip stop loss, so we only lost a couple of cents. But on this, I'm waiting because the dollar seems to not really know what it's doing just yet either. You see how we got all this sideways movement? It's been in this same range since Monday. So I'm going to wait on USD cross pairs. And cross pairs is just NZD, USD, GBP, USD, anything with USD on the back side of it. All right. GBP CAD. I got into this Monday around here. And then today, I told them to just take profits because I saw that it wasn't making any highs. And I didn't quite want to sell it. I'm still looking for buys on this. But now I'm waiting for price to come into this gap right here. And then, of course, our break and retest. So we had, this is a higher time frame trend line. Y'all see that on the daily? Already done for today? Cool. We're done too. We're just looking up for some stuff for tomorrow. All right, so as you can see, we had some rejection here, and then we had some more rejection here, and then we have this fair value gap here on the daily. I'm actually going to readjust that in this, and I want to see price come into here before I continue to buy it higher, right here. So I'm going to set my alert. And this would be a perfect spot because it'd be a nice retest. Break and retest trades, I think, are one of my favorites. Break a retest and then, of course, break a structure with a gap. I love it. All right, so we don't have anything on GBP CAD yet. Let's look at news real quick because I know this is NFP week. So let's see what we have going on for tomorrow. I think we have JPY news tonight. Let's see. We have odd news. Oh, it already dropped. Wait a minute. What just happened on the odd pairs? Oh, look at that. Odd pairs. And then I just said I didn't want to get faked out. But it looks like it was valid. Where was that gap at? I'm still wait because now it's too late for me to get in. I'm gonna wait for it to break this trend line because it could easily come to this trend line and then bounce back down. Okay, that's why we always wait for it to get on top. What other all pet? What's AJ doing? Is AJ heading back up? We got trend lines on everything today. This week. We got trend lines on everything. I'm gonna draw one more. Tighten it here. Uh, that's better. So we could get a break and retest on AJ too, cause I mean that would match up with all CHF, right? The yen would be going down, and CHF would be going down also. How long did it take you to really learn and be confident? So I've been trading for 4 years, right? I was profitable in my first year. The hardest part is not over trading, right? So you can be confident because you see these setups and it's literally just following the process. What trips a lot of traders up is they'll have $300 on the screen, they'll have $50 on the screen, they'll have money on the screen, and then they'll watch the trade go negative and hit stop loss and don't take profits. So once you get over the greed factor, now the greed factor took a while. I want to settle it right here real quick. No, cross it down. And I'm doing crossing down because I wanted to come up and then come back down. Look at it, and it's going off. No. Okay, we'll leave it. It's gonna keep alerting me. Okay. Okay, so we got odd CHF, GBP USD. We said we're gonna wait on these USD pairs. It sure was. Did you catch it? Did you catch it? Did you catch it? So 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 as you can see, we're still in this channel. I'm surprised price literally still hasn't touched this trend line. That's crazy. So let's mark up today's 4 hour CRT. What time is it? It's 9:38. So we got a new CRT candle. Let's go to the futures chart. I'm gonna delete this one. Here we go. Okay, so this is saying we still got 21 minutes. For some reason, I guess indices 4 hour time frame is different. So you see how EJ says 3 hours and 21 minutes because we got a new 4 hour candle at 9 p.m. So I'm guessing indices new candle start at 10. So we'll come back when we get our new candle. Okay, let's let this candle close because it's only 21 more minutes, and then we'll come back and mark up Nas CRT move. But yeah, don't let nobody tell you you can't trade Nas during Asia session. I do it all the time. It just moves a little bit slower. It just moves a little bit slower, and sometimes I like that because sometimes Nas can give you whiplash. All right, so we said we're gonna leave these USD pairs alone until the dollar figure out what it wants to do. And let's see. I think we got some USD news tomorrow. We have non-farm employment tomorrow. I've been telling myself that I am really gonna track the news for like months, and start in May, I am gonna do it. Okay, I'm going to screenshot these news events and see how the market reacts to each, because sometimes just because it's a red photo doesn't mean that you're going to get crazy action, right? For sure, NFP, you're going to get crazy action on a Friday, NFP Friday. And then, why am I drawing a blank? PPI and I think CPI. And then whenever Trump or Powell speaks. But I think I saw that Trump fired Powell. So I gotta double check on that. I'm on your hey timeless. I'm glad about that. How you doing? I'm glad you came in. Trading in Asia means being impatient because for one to trade a certain asset there, I'm confused. Trading in the Asian session means being impatient. Needs to be volume and liquidity. Well, whoever you are, there wouldn't be a session if it wasn't volume and liquidity. And we literally just caught a trade yesterday. So thank you for your input, but a bit slower. So Asia session is a session because the banks are open over in Asia. New York session is a session because the banks open in New York. London session is a session because the banks are open in London. Okay? Do I trade futures? Yeah, so when I mark up NAS, US 30 and SPX, those are futures pairs that I only trade those on futures. All right, so oh look at all cap. We may can get an entry to continue this down further. See this gap right here? And you see how price reacted from this one? Let's set our alert and see what we get. You just do. I wasn't cute. Man, you bye. Like, I'm not about to sit here and entertain you. We got people who actually want to learn because you think you know it all. All right. US 30 EJ. I saw this earlier, right? And I was like, man, I should take this sale. But this is what happens when you stick to your bias. I was like, no, I'm gonna wait for it to get on top of this because I want to see that liquidity taken. And then price came underneath this gap, and this purple line is 50%. Y'all see how it touched it perfectly? Touched it perfectly. You want to learn? You're here. You're here, timeless. You see how it touched this perfectly and then rejected? And I saw it and I was like, ah, dang. It's up 60 pips. 60 pips. You can learn more about these charts. So with EJ, I didn't miss all the entries. All the entries. So it's nothing we can do about that. I'm gonna leave it be. Now, what confuses me, um, UJ isn't breaking this fair value gap right here. We caught this trade last night, and we just took it back to this 4-hour fair value gap here because I had a feeling that price probably wasn't going to break it. So we took it back to 50% of this gap. And then I was like, if it breaks and retests under here, then I'll sell it. But it broke it on EJ and it's running down. Oh, you know what? This might be what sends it down. But I'm still going to wait. If this sends it down and breaks it and I get a retest, then we'll definitely get into UJ. We'll get into UJ and take it here to this gap. Let me make sure I see what you're saying. What were your confluences to go long? Okay, so the confluences to go long on this one. Here we go. I'm not even gonna read y'all stuff. On this one, on this short one that we got right here. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything else. So this was a minor structure trade. Okay. So I came down to the 15-minute, and we got our minor structure, breaker structure right here, and it created a fair value gap. All right. And I entered at the fair value gap and took it back to my 4 hour gap. And it was a nice 3-to-1. All right. That was my confluence for that one. Uh, that's why I don't keep that on there. Y'all saw that? Just like that. All right. Now, where we at? GJ. GJ is playing around. Okay. It's slowly like giving us some stair steps down, but it's really not doing anything. Unless you'd have caught it up here where this gap is, then you could have been up. That was nice, 100 and something pips. But this was another one that I was looking for price to come up here because we had a weekly fair value gap up here. This was 50% of that gap. And then we had this gap right here on the daily. So I just knew it was coming up there, but it decided not to. So I just set it out. Now this is looking like a flag though. We got this flagpole, and then we have this small like consolidation, but not really consolidation because it's making minor structure lower lows, right? But this would be another one where we can just do a break and retest, right? We have a trend line right here. Just wait for it to break that and come back and retest it. And then we can take it up here to that gap. And that's still a good 100 pips. So I'm just waiting on some confirmations. This is our weekly high. And my weekly high or low hasn't been swept on a lot of these pairs. On a lot of them. All right, now we got gold. Gold is just being gold, right? As I said, I'm not touching it because it's moving sideways. It's moving sideways. Although you can get a lot of pips with a small move on gold, I don't want it because I don't like this tight movement, right? I don't like to be stressed about what's going on with my trade. I just want price to move and do what it's supposed to do for me. So I said I'm not touching it until it gets down here and sweeps my weekly low. This is my weekly low. And then right beneath my weekly low, I have a fair value gap. Okay? So I'm not touching it until it gets here. And then even if it does decide to come underneath here, then I'll wait on a retest and I'll take it down to this gap. But I want price to let me know what it's gonna do. But right now, it's just sideways. And then it's not even giving good sideways movement because since this came to this trend line, it should have been came down here and ran this liquidity. Right, pullbacks be having you stressed. I ain't got time. But what it decided to do was hit this fair value gap and now consolidate inside of these two fair value gaps because this purple line up here was another one. Thank you. This purple, both of these purple lines are fair value gaps and it's consolidated. It's moved side to side all day. All day. So maybe it's waiting on USD news tomorrow, which is at what time? At 9? Oh, we got some at 7:30, 7:15. This is Central Standard Time, so it'll be 8:15 for your Eastern Standard Time, which is good because then we could see what the market is going to do before market open. So I said I was gonna live trade today. I'm sorry y'all didn't make it. I forgot I had a meeting. So tomorrow we will be here. I promise I don't have no meetings. I double checked my calendar. So we'll be here tomorrow at 8. We'll be here tomorrow at 8. I'm still not gonna trade gold though. Do I have my alert set? No. Let me set this alert. Because I do not want to miss it, because that's gonna be nice. Okay, so the alert is set. As soon as it come down here, then I will come down here and watch the candlestick and see what it's doing. How do you record the screen? Are you on your phone or are you on a computer? Bring me that. Come here. Come here. Huh? You want this? You gotta bribe him. You get one thing from him, you gotta get something else. Come here. You want this? Come here. Come here. Come here, Kai. You want this? She ain't stunned me. She got plastic in her mouth. Tina, get that, please. Yep, this is the hourly. We can go lower. This is the 15. This is the 15 right here. There was another gap right here. And here, it's just stuck. It's like, I don't know where to go. That's ugly. I mean, these are some nice little tiny scalp moves now. If you scalp this one right here was nice, right? And it's definitely moving from gap to gap. But it's a no for me. So I do top-down analysis. We go all the way from the monthly down to the 1 minute. 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minutes, mainly where I look for my entries. All right, so let's come over to CJ. But after I mark my chart up, I normally just look at it on the hourly just to see what's going on. All right, so we had a 4-hour trend line right here. And now price is creating this little minor structure trend line right here. And price came down to this fair value gap. I can mark up. Let's do it here. I can mark up this trend line, but I still don't want to touch it until price gets on top of here. I'm going to delete this fair value gap, and then we have another fair value gap here. So I'm going to set an alert, and I want to see price break out of this. We gotta make sure that little thing's not popping up. Okay, so price has been moving in this area. Where's the 28th? Okay, here's the 28th. Sunday is where? Here's Sunday. Nope, Friday, Sunday. So this is our weekly 50%. And this is our CRT low, right? I definitely, and honestly, I'm finna do this. Since price is so close to this low, I want to see this low being swept. I want to see this low being swept. And then come up and break this trend line and then give me some type of retest. And that'll give us a better entry. And then we can just take it up here to this gap. It's a good 100 pips. So we're just being patient and waiting because it's NFP week. It's NFP week. And it's just Tuesday. It is just Tuesday. You get your best moves on Wednesday and Thursday, to be honest. Okay? But, I mean, we can see, you know, what's going on now. We're starting to get a clear direction on where we could possibly trade this week. So I do like this. Okay? So I want to see this trend line bring this back down and run last week's low. Or did this run last week? Nope, that's Thursday. Wait a minute. Let me make sure my lines are right. Because it surely ain't. Oh, this was 50%. So let's move this down so I don't get tricked. That we had it at 50% of this fair value gap. Because I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? There we go. Now that's the low. That's the low. See how we got all this liquidity right here? This little consolidation, relatively equal highs, not completely equal. So liquidity is consolidation, equal highs, and equal lows. And so this liquidity right here has to be ran, and it's going to come to this fair value gap. Just wanted to break out of this. I think this is a higher time frame wedge. What we got going on here? Trend line. So we had a original break and retest. Y'all see this trend line? And then price broke out of this and retested it. That's telling us that it wants to go higher. Okay? We just gotta wait. We just gotta wait. All right. I'm sure somebody got in over here though, because this was an order block. Alrighty. Let's see what we got next. Odd NZD. Okay, so odd NZD, we marked up 4-hour CRT yesterday. Somebody asked about this, and TP hit. We only marked up the high and 50%, and TP hit on that. So let's mark up our weekly CRT. Okay, so this is why it wasn't marked. We're so far from our weekly low. It's crazy. So let's see what we got on these dailies. Daily CRT already played out. That last one was CHFJPY with that flag. So this daily CRT already played out. So we don't have anything on Audit NZD, but I can show it to y'all. So this was Tuesday's candle, and this is just Wednesday. Like, this is just today's candle already playing out. Okay, so I'm gonna mark the low and the high and 50% of the candle. Okay, and then we're gonna come down to the hourly, and let's see. Don't see the entry there. This must have been that news. There wasn't any good entry. There wasn't a good entry to the 50%, but there was a good entry to the high, okay? So price ran this low, and then news caused this spike, because remember, it was an odd pair. News caused this spike. And then we got a pullback, which gave us a gap, but price didn't come to this one. Then it decided to continue higher, and it gave us another gap. So this would have been the entry to the high. That was nice. It already played out, so this is why I should have looked at news before we started. We probably could have caught this. But then again, I probably would have been looking at AJ. So it was 26 pip TP and a 2 pip stop loss. This was a daily CRT move. I mean, so this is the same pattern that we got for CJ, right? This is the same pattern. You got your trend line, and then you got your break, and then we will want to see a retest back to this gap right here. And then find a TP somewhere. We got equal highs all the way up here. That might be overextending though. It's 113 pips. I don't see any other gaps or anything closer, so it could run. Okay, so I'm gonna set an alert right here. I'm gonna wait for this to come back. If it does. We'll wait for price to run this high. Price run this high. We'll see if it's gonna come back. All right, it's 10 o'clock. Let's go back to Nas real quick so we don't miss that 4-hour CRT. Make sure it's the right chart. All right, so our 4-hour candle closed. And if you look over here, so for 4-hour CRT, we do it the same way that we'll do a daily or a weekly. You mark your low, your high, and then 50% of the candle. Okay. Now, what we wait on is a run on the low or a run on the high. So we wait for price to come outside the range. That's not the one I want. Okay. And since price is so close to the low, I want to see it come out of here. Okay. So we wait for price to come outside the range and then go back inside the range and create some type of breaker structure with a fair value gap, and then wait for price to return to that area, and then we'll take price to 50%. Okay. So I am just going to set an alert on our low and our high, and we will continue to mark up the charts until it lets us know that price has crossed. This is how you keep yourself from entering trades, right? Don't watch the chart, because if you just sitting there watching it, you're going to see something that's not there. All right. I'm gonna mark up my trend line. Price could also break and retest underneath it and come back down to this trend line. I'm gonna tighten it up because maybe it's not gonna play me. I don't like that. Hmm. I'll do that one. Something like that would be a reason why it came back down. All right, so we'll keep our trend line tight like that. And so as you can see, you see how it got the rejection and came back to this area, went back to this area, went back to this area, back to this area. Is probably definitely coming back under here. So this is probably going to be one that we're going to look for a break underneath and then a retest to come back down to here. But to play it safe, we can take TP right here in this fair value gap. Because you never want to overextend your TP. Okay. I've gotten stopped out so many times waiting and thinking that price was just going to break a trend line and then it bounces off of it. Like, no, if you in the range, trade inside the range and wait for the break and retest, and then you can re-enter. But if you in the range, just take what the range gives you. And with Nas, this is quite a bit. This is quite a bit. That's 274 points. Okay. So we're going to wait for that to cross underneath. And let's go back to where was we at? We did CJ, we did odd NZD. Y'all see how price ran that? It just barely ran it. It just barely ran it. And now it's reversing. You'll get A retracement when price runs liquidity or when price breaks structure. Okay. So I definitely want to see if we can get right here. We'll wait for price to ding us and let us know. And then we'll just take it back to this high. It's a 4-1. Because honestly, I don't see where else. Candles like this is an imbalance, right? So there's no type of wick. Hold on, let me go over. There's an itty bitty wick, but you see how weird it looks? Candles like this is another imbalance in price. So something happened, like a news event or something. But this says Sunday, so this was Sunday open. This was Sunday open. 17, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 5 o'clock. Yeah, that was Sunday open. So price could come back right here. Hold on, I'm trying to get that rectangle off my chart. There it went. There it go. Where's that? So, in cases like this, where we could take it up to here, we'll wait for price to come down into this area. When price gets here, this will be TP1. Yeah, waiting for that break. This pair is odd NZD. You on the 5 minute on Nas? Okay. We got the alert set. So wait, how do you deposit money on the trade and it never lets you do it? Who's your broker? Okay, so what we're gonna do is wait for price to come here. Okay, show us our rejection candles. We'll get in, and then when price gets here, we'll take partials and move stop loss to entry, and then see if we can get TP2 right here. Okay. So we have this alert set. We got a bunch of alert sets. We just gotta wait on those alerts. Blowfin is your broker. I'm not familiar with Blowfin, but you should be able to just go to your broker and then do add funds, right? And then when you do add funds, you can choose a crypto. I normally add my funds with Bitcoin, and once you choose the crypto, it'll give you a crypto address to where to send the funds, and then you go to whoever you use. I use Cash App because it's just easy. You go to whoever you use that's holding your crypto, and you'll buy the crypto, and then you'll click send, and then you'll copy and paste the Bitcoin address that Blowfin gave you. Okay, and then, or whatever crypto address, you could be Solana or whatever. I don't know what Blowfin uses, but whatever the crypto address is, and you send it to that wallet address that they gave you. The website for what? She asked about, or this person, I don't want to say she, I'm sorry. They asked about how do they deposit money into their account. We are bearish on Bitcoin if it breaks and retests our 4-hour low, and then we'll be bullish if it breaks and comes back in and breaks structure. Okay, so we're just waiting, but I'm thinking bearish because we're inside this channel and I want to see price complete this. What currency? This was Nas. The name of this is Trading View that we're looking at. K set what up? How do we set what up? Where were we? Trade lines or trend lines? How did I set up my trend lines? So In order to have a valid trend line, you have to have two wicks that had rejection, right? So we have a wick here that bought up from this area, and then we have another wick that bought up from this area, and then we have a third one. So you just take your trend line tool, and I normally use my magnet, and then you go from the first one to the second one, okay? But I wanted them to be a little bit tighter, so I drew this one on the third one, okay? And then as you can see, like Price tried to fake somebody out and say that it was going to close outside of the trend line, and then it still ended up closing inside the trend line. This is why you have to wait. You definitely have to wait because you will get faked out. I've gotten faked out so many times. And then for this one, we'll use this trend line because I want all of them to touch it because it's in this channel, okay? When price is moving like this is a channel. I'm connecting it just the red one. So you're connecting it on the wicks. You're connecting on the rejection points of the wicks. Can you put $2 in? Unfortunately, no, because I think the minimum, I think I've put like 25 in, but it depends on your broker, okay? The minimum I suggest is 100. The minimum I suggest is 100. We're doing 100 to $1,000 challenge. Let me show y'all what happened to me today. So I put in $92. Y'all see that, right? I put in $92. I did like a mess up. I accidentally bought NZD CAD, and then that NZD USD trade that we went over, I lost $7. And then and then I thought NU was gonna go back up again, right? Now, NZD CAD is the trade that we're in now. I told everybody to remove their stop loss. Now, yes, I did over leverage when I'm in a good trade and I know it's a good trade, I will over leverage. I got stopped out and lost $23 because I guess I know when the market closed, and that's why I told everybody to move their stop loss. Spread got me. Let me show y'all what I was up. I was up $72. Market closed, spread got me. I should have just closed that one and then left the other one, but it's cool. So now we're at $53. I'm still in this NZD CAD trade. They hit TP, I'll be back at the $100, okay? But nobody else should have lost any money. They should have. They shouldn't have, because they should be following proper risk management. I don't follow it all the times because I know certain trades just gonna hit. What's a broker? Oh baby. So a broker is the person that houses your funds. It's like a bank for trading. Gold, we looked at gold. We'll go back over it later. What pair right now? This is NAS. Yes, trust the process. Sell to 32.74 TP and then hold to buy. What? Sell to 32.74. What pair are you talking about? Jassy. Can we analyze gold? Yeah, we'll look at gold. $2 worth of Bitcoin. You definitely can't do that because listen, you buy $2 worth of Bitcoin, them fees gonna get you. It's gonna take the whole $2. What do I think of fundamental analysis? Yes. So that's why I was saying earlier, next month I am really gonna start tracking the news. So I love fundamental analysis, right? I use fundamental analysis to trade with technicals, but I need to get tighter with it. I need to know exactly what red folder is happening and how they react and when they're happening because I love to trade news. All right. So that's nice. Okay, odd NZD is what we're waiting on. Wait. What? Wait, what? Wait, what? You are completely new. So for everybody that's completely new, I said next week we are going to start a beginner's course right here on TikTok. I have to get some stuff together so that I can figure out where to start y'all from. But next week we're going to start a beginner's course. I'm in NZD CAD, but I don't suggest you get in it because we're up already. But we're looking for entries on another trade. No, you cannot have a not have a broker. You have to have a broker. You have to have a broker. And the broker is what allows you to place your trades, right? Like I said, it's the bank for your trading. Do I trade gold? Yeah, we trade gold. We'll go back over gold in a few. Let's get through the rest of these. Okay, so for the beginners, who's your bank? Your bank is your broker. So I use CoinX. I use CoinX, and then I use Tradeovate for futures. Derivatives. I can't trade derivatives because I'm in the US. CoinX, why did I pick them? I've been with them for a while and they have fast withdrawals. And I went over to KOT Forex for a little while because they had even faster withdrawals. And then all that stuff happened with MetaTrader, and they didn't allow the US to trade on MetaTrader anymore. And so Trade Locker came out and everybody created their own platform and everybody's platform was glitching. And I was like, I can't do this. And y'all, I literally prayed. I was like, Lord, how do I get back on MetaTrader? And he brought back to my remembrance CoinX. And I had already had an account with them. So I just went back to CoinX and I have no issues. Yeah, they use Trade Locker now. But they was glitching when they first went over to Trade Locker. I was like, I couldn't do it. But I just signed an affiliate partner with a new prop firm, and they're on Trade Locker, and I hear that Trade Locker is doing better. So I'm gonna test this prop firm out for y'all. They do futures and forex. So I'll have some more information on that in about a month. I love CoinX. Listen, their customer service is the best customer service I've ever had. Although they're not regulated, I don't mind a not regulated broker because I haven't had any issues. Like literally, whenever I have an issue, they have a Discord, and then on their website they have a chat. You literally wait like no longer than 5 minutes to get somebody on the chat, and whatever you need in the chat, they're going to help you. And you're not going to get anybody that's like, oh, I don't know, no run around, none of that. And then, like one day it was taking like 5 hours to get my payout. Normally it takes like 3 hours max, right? Sometimes, sometimes I can get it within an hour. But one day it was taking me like 5 hours to get my payout. So I went to Discord and I got in the chat with them and they instantly fixed it and I got my payout within the next 30 minutes. So I don't mind unregulated broker if their customer service is good. And if you making money, they making money. And if you ain't making money, they making money. So, yep, CoinX uses MetaTrader. I love MetaTrader 5. I love MetaTrader 5. Now, I think it was Chris. Somebody was telling me C Trader has trailing stop loss. So I'm going to have to check it out. I might have to learn a new platform. So we'll see. We'll see. But Tradeovate does not trailing stop loss, but if you hit a certain amount of pips for the week on a stop loss or a certain amount of pips for a take profit, they'll automatically take you out the trade to keep you from over trading, and they won't allow you to trade anymore during that day. Yeah, CoinX uses MetaTrader. You're from Jamaica. Oh, okay, so y'all can trade derivatives over there. So it's not like a login, put money inside and start trading. Yep, you have to create an account. You have to create an account. You have to create an account. And then I use Bitcoin to transfer. I mean, I use Cash App. I buy Bitcoin on Cash App and I transfer. It's so easy that way. I don't like crypto.com. Not crypto.com. I like crypto.com. I don't like Coinbase. But I don't want to do transactions on them because literally Bitcoin, I can have my money in my account in like 30 minutes to an hour. I ain't got time to be playing with these people. Yep, they have MT4 too. Let me make sure we don't get disconnected. Okay. So what you're asking is there? Are we in a setup on gold? Oh no, no setup on gold. Okay, let's go back over gold real quick. Let me put a mark right here so we can know where we stop. For the people that came in and missed gold, we are not touching gold. So if you just look at this chart right here, tell me what do y'all see? You're confused? Send me a DM and I'll work with you tomorrow. Okay? Send me a DM. I'll help you get your account set up. But because you're new, I am going to set you up on a demo account. Okay? If you want to take live trades, then you need to join the community and you can take the trades that I send, but you still need to do that in demo for a good month to practice to learn how to trade. So a demo account is fake money, okay? And you'll be able to buy and sell and learn how to read the signals so that you can practice, okay? Because I've had people put real money in an account and then still take signals. I did it. My very first time, y'all. I joined this group. First time I learned about trading, they was literally making $1,000 a day on US 30. And everybody was making money but me. Everybody. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm on a live account. I'm taking the signals. Well, one, I didn't know that US 30 moves fast. So I should have always been in the, I don't think it was on Discord. I think it was on Telegram. So I should have always like been focused on the Telegram chat, right? So at US 30, if a minute passed, you probably too late to enter that trade. So I was entering trades too late. The trade would probably already hit take profit and then come back and hit my stop loss. So you definitely need to start in demo so that you can learn how to take the signal, and then you can be in. Okay, we got a alert on AutoCAD. Then you can be in demo until you learn how to trade on your own, or until you learn how to take the signal. All right, so AutoCAD is back near an entry. We want to see if price is going to come lower. So we'll talk on this for now. Are we using TradingView? Yep. Do you need to pay TradingView to have a demo account? No. So you'll have a demo account on a broker. TradingView is just a website that houses all of everything that you can trade, right? So it houses Forex pairs, future pairs, stuff for options, your stocks. What else? We have indices, bonds. I've never looked at economy. I might look at that one day. But all of these is pairs that people trade in in I'm trying to think of the term, in a different market, right? So markets, so you have Forex, you have options, you have stocks, um, stuff like that. Those are markets. Yep, TradingView is just a charting software. Okay. So I'm going to teach you about TradingView and all of that when we do our beginner class. Okay. But you don't have to pay for TradingView until you get to the point to where you want to set all these alerts and all that stuff, add a whole bunch of stuff to your watch list. That's when you pay for TradingView. But in the beginning stages, you don't have to pay for TradingView. 924. All right, so we got an evening star pattern right here, but I want to wait for price to get underneath this gap and then retest it, and then we can enter on AutoCAD for a sale, which would align with the beginner classes will start on Monday. Monday at 8 o'clock. We'll do beginner for an hour, and then the following 2 hours we'll do our markups. Okay, so get y'all notebooks together. All right, so I'm going to set another alert because I don't want to enter until price closes under here. And then let's go back to gold real quick. How much profit did I make? Oh, look at gold. This could be a little entry. So today, did you see my screen? I was up $70, and then market closed, and spread got me because I was over leveraging. So I'm down today. I'm down $30. Is forex trading for real? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I'm down $30 on my little baby account, but it's cool. I'm gonna make that back with that NZD cat trade. What time was frame was odd cat? This was a gap on the hourly. Oh, now it's crossing back down. And then this other gap right here is on the minute. So I'm waiting for price to come underneath here and then retest it, and we'll get in. Can you place a trade on TraderView? You sure can if you have a regulated broker. So when I do futures, I trade on here with Tradeovate. The only reason why I really don't have a regulated broker is because, like with Owanda and Forex.com, you can't trade indices. I'm on the 1 minute now, but all of these are regulated broker. All of these. Weeble is what you'll trade like with your stocks. Iron Beam, that prop firm that I just told y'all about, I'll be using this starting tomorrow. I gotta get signed in to trade that prop firm as for the Forex Bears. Time frame is the minute. Is it realistic to make 2K a month? Yes, it is. Just depends on if you have enough money. So with trading, the more money that you have, essentially, the more money that you can make. But most of the times I'll do account flips, right? So I made 3,000 in a day off of $400. When I just know that a trade is gonna hit, then yes, I will over leverage. It's 10:30. We get all kinds of alerts. What just went off? Okay, Nas just went off. Nas just went off. Where's Nas? Nas just went off. It hasn't quite completely moved underneath or closed underneath just yet. Now this is what I need to learn how to do. This is what I need to learn how to do. Set up these charts side by side. I don't like how I don't know how to, or maybe I do. Hold on, let's see. Oh snap! I figured it out. Okay, let's watch Oddcat and what you call it at the same time. We're on our 1 minute. But see now my markup isn't there. I don't like that. But this is what we know. This is what we was looking at. Okay, and then there was a gap here on the 1 hour. All right, so I like how Nas closed underneath, and it left us a gap right here. So we're still gonna wait. Hey, baby. Take me back. Okay, there we go. I was talking to this thing. 500. 500 leverage. 2 screens. Yeah, some people use more than 2 screens. I don't think I can handle more than two. And you see how on some brokers it hit and some brokers it didn't. So I'm like, wait a minute, why it didn't hit? Because it's a different broker. Oh, not the month. All right. No, I need to set up his account because I just found out that on CoinX I can do copy trading. No, he games though. Y'all follow him. He games and he does music. Is Joke be gaming? Let me make sure it's Joke be gaming on TikTok. I think it's Joke music. Don't be acting shy. I heard it say I wanna fly. I said, Jada, can you slide? This was her reply. Told your ass to come outside, bitch. You get up high. Lame hoes and fuck niggas trying to stop us grind. that video. It's Young Joke. Young Joke. If this closes underneath, hold on, let me go. I'm gonna do this on a paper trade because I don't have enough on my live account right now to take this. Remember, I'm doing a small account build, but I'm definitely taking this. Let's come on down. Time frame on OddCat. Yep, it's still on 1 minute. All right, so for this one, we need price to close underneath here. And then for a buy, we need price to break this structure with a gap. But price closed underneath our weekly and left us a gap. So we needed to respect this gap right here. Stop loss will be this high right here. This is 51. And this is futures right here. This is how futures contracts work. Okay. Yes, we needed to close underneath. We gotta wait. Because right now it just looks like you want to play. CAD is doing us justice. Yes. Only thing I don't like about these CAD pairs is the spread. Like, what is going on? What is that? Is this what you're talking about? This is futures. This is how you enter trades on a futures chart. Crypto, no. So we're looking at OddCat and we are looking at NAS. And OddCat closed with this big bearish candle. What we got? 9 seconds left. I'm entering. Not in yet. You see how it's playing on there? You see how it's playing right there? Yep, I'm paper trading. I don't have enough in my account to take NAS, but I'm gonna take OddCat. You've been learning since November? All right, we're gonna start our beginner classes on Monday. If you want to tune in at 8, and we'll do beginner sessions from 8 to 9, and then 9 to 11 we'll do our chart markups. All right, I'm selling OddCat. And my stop loss is above the candle that created the gap on the hourly. So the stop loss is 15 points. TP is I'm looking at OddCat and we in some type of consolidation. Monday at 8. Yep. Hold on. I'm trying to mark up my CRT range on OddCat on my chart. So TP would be the weekly last week's low because we've come underneath the 50%. We ran last week's high. So TP is at last week's low on OddCat. Now you see that? Price, see, that's why you gotta wait. That's why you have to wait. All right, we're in this. We can stop watching it. Let me go back to one screen real quick and put my position. I didn't even, why is this here? This ain't even future. Let's go back to one screen really quick. Where we at? Okay. how we caught this trade last night on the live. So let's see if we can get some more pips out of it. All right, so we enter like right here. Our stop loss is here, above the candle that created the gap. And then TP, oh yeah, we got equal lows right here too. TP is down here at the weekly low. Okay. All right, so we're in that. You know what? I'm interested in Bitcoin mining because how does that work? I wish I would have gotten into it when Bitcoin first came around. Are there still any coins to be mined? Jadela? Y'all see how we moving? Let's go. All right, we're gonna leave that be. Let's go back to Nas. Do I have my green on here? We're in that. I'm not in that. I don't know why that's green. I'm still in NZD CAD. I'm still in NZD CAD. Okay. But I don't suggest you enter it because we're already up. All right, let's go back to Nas. And we're back on the 1 minute. All right. So this is our last structure point that took us to our low that ran our 4-hour low. Okay, so we need to wait on this structure to be broken. Okay, once this structure breaks and price comes back to this gap, and then if we get the reaction that we want at this gap, then we can buy. And there's a fair value gap right here at the 50%. But we also have equal highs right here. And to be honest, that's 33 pips. This is 45. Yeah, we'll leave it be. 50%. Did price close outside of the range? So, yep, price closed outside of the range, but we didn't get a retest, right? So you want it to close outside of the range, and then you want to see it trade lower and then come back and retest the range and then reject the range, right? So it's the same thing as what they say you want to look for with support and resistance, but this is true support and resistance, okay? Equal highs and equal lows, as they tell you, look for the area that's rejecting in the same spot. That's liquidity. That's not a zone, okay? But just like they tell you, break and retest is what you want to see. So you want to see price trade away, and then you want to see price come back to it and then reject it again. But we never got that. Price closed underneath, and then it came back up. So now we're waiting for our structure to be broken. And structure might not break, right? Because we had another gap right here. And price just barely hit it. But this is still within our structure, right? Because price is making lower lows and lower highs. So this could come back down and make another lower low. Put it on the 5 minute. I don't care what time frame I put it on. It closed underneath, but you see that? This one on the 5 minute, it didn't even close underneath. It wicked back up. Okay? This is why it's important to wait. It's important to wait on these candles to close. Did price close? I'll make sure I didn't miss any questions. Y'all give me a second. This is Nas. Give me a second. I need to use the restroom. Oh, okay. Did y'all clean that kitchen? did eat. Yeah, I fed her and she ate. So it's probably time for her to go out. All right, so price just came and hit that 50% of that gap. I was like, did the live disconnect? Okay. So when you see the candle right here, so you see this candle, how it closed underneath? This one right here, you see that? Let me zoom in. So this one, so you have the wick, right? We're on NAS. You have the wick, and it came and it traded down, but then it traded on the inside. So if the body is above the zone, then it closed inside. If the body closed outside of the zone, then it closed outside, right? But closing outside of the zone is only one confirmation. Yep, this is the 1 minute. For entries, Nas is best on the 1 minute. Okay? So closing outside of the zone is only one confirmation. Our other confirmation would have been if price traded lower. Okay? If price traded lower and then retested this area and then rejected it, then we would have known that price was coming lower. But price decided to fake people out. It closed underneath, and then it created this 3 candle pattern right here is a morning star, okay? You have a bearish candle, you have a doji, and a bullish candle. And a morning star at a zone is a reversal pattern. And then you can have this same thing to where it'd be like bullish, a doji, and a bearish candle. And that's a reversal. I think I said that wrong. So there's morning star and evening star, okay? It's a 3 candle pattern, okay? One of them is a bearish candle, a doji, and a bullish candle. And then the other candle is a bullish candle, a doji, and a bearish candle, okay? All right, so we're on top of this area. Let's see if when price run this liquidity here, if we can get a pullback to our gap. All right, CAD did reject. Let's go back while we're waiting on that. What are you doing? She play all day. So all CAD did reject. You see we have our hourly right here. The candle isn't closed, but we got 14 minutes left till it closed, okay? But it did reject. So I came down to the 1 minute. All right. I came down to the 1 minute and it rejected it once. But remember I said I wanted to wait until price got underneath this gap. So then price sent it back up again and it gave us another rejection. And then price finally came underneath this area. And then we got a little baby retest candle right here. This black candle right here. Price was bullish and then rejected. And then it took us lower. Okay. And then price could come back here. And then it could even come back here. Okay. But I got these equal lows right here, these double body candles. And then on the hourly, I have another double body candle right here. And remember yesterday, it ran our weekly high. So this is a weekly CRT move, which is why we took it down to the 50% and then we got out. And then price created this gap that closed underneath our 50%. What the heck was that? Girl, which closed underneath this 50% with a nice bearish candle and left us this gap. Okay, which is why I wanted to see price come back up here and reject it to see if price is going to continue lower. Because remember, these are our TP areas at 50% and the low or the high depending on whichever direction price is going in. Okay. So what was stop loss? I think stop loss was 15 pips. Where did we get in at? Here. And then remember, stop loss is at the top of the candle that created the gap. So it's 13 pips. Then TP is at our weekly low. Hi, Tim. We're doing great. You just discovered my TikTok? Thanks for joining. Go ahead and click the follow. All right, so you see how we're getting some kind of rejection. This don't even look right. Hold on. Here. Don't like that. I gotta use my magnet tool. That's why I be on and then sometimes it mess me up. All right, here we go. All right, so let's see, since price came out of here. So now this is, hold on, let me delete that. This is now an inversion fair value gap, right? This candle right here, when price comes underneath it and then retest it, that's now called an inversion. So when price came and traded through it and then retested it and bought up, it was originally a bullish fair value gap, right? And then when price comes underneath it and retests it, it makes it now a bearish inversion. Okay. This is odd cap. Odd cap. So let's see if price is gonna come up here. We got, it's 9:48. We still got 10 minutes left in this hourly candle. Okay. Let's click over to NAS real quick. All right, we're getting a pullback on NAS. It didn't even run our liquidity. Let's set this alert real quick. We're back on odd cap on the 1 minute. All right, now we're back in our fair value gap. But what I'm noticing right here is we had a little trend line. We got a little trend line right here. Y'all see that? Low resistance liquidity. Below. I'm not sure what that means. Low resistance liquidity. This does look like a flag, doesn't it? We got this long pole right here, and then we're getting this sideways movement. If it hit stop loss, like I said, it was just 13 pips. That's why we keep our stop loss tight. hate that we have this little trend line though. And then what happens is if price gets on top of this gap, then we just look for a retest and then take it up for a buy. Right? So let's see if price is just retesting this area. It's 952. It's 952. We got 7 minutes left in this hourly candle. So let's see what happens. Yes, 6. We have a class starting on Monday at 8 p.m. where we are going to start with the beginner stuff. So I got to get everything together to see how long and how many weeks. But we'll be here every day at 8, and we're gonna start at very, very beginner level, okay? And we'll do that for an hour, and then we'll come back and do our markups and look for entries and stuff from 9 to 11. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. All right. It's 9:53. We got 2 minutes left in this 5 minute candle. 2 minutes left in this 5 minute candle. But on these cat pairs, it looks bigger than what it is, but 3 pips irk me. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Timeless, wasn't you on here? You just scrolling? You're going to start a course and mentorship yourself? Go for it. Go for it. There's plenty of people out here want to learn, that need to learn. 9:54. We got 1 minute left in this 5 minute candle. You can't sleep? What time is it? Where are you? If you get on TikTok and turn the lights off and put on some ocean sounds, some soothing music, you'll be able to sleep. You're in Ghana? What time is it there? Are you a part-time trader? Do you have another job besides trading? I'm full-time trader. We'll be back on here tomorrow at 8 to live trade Nas doing New York session. But I do have another job, but it's my business. I do credit repair and funding. So if you need your credit repaired, click the link in my bio. If you think your credit is in place for funding, click the link in my bio and we'll do a consultation. I'll look at your credit and let's see how much money we can get you. All right, that 5 minute candle, it rejected and closed underneath. Let's see what these last 5 minutes do in this hourly candle. We got 4 minutes and 38 seconds left. Let's see. Let's see if price comes back up here, then comes back down. Like, we still got room. Let's show y'all where stop loss is at. Stop loss is here at the high of the candle that created the gap. All right. That's where we are. You're in France? Wow, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Did you wake up early to work out? What broker do I use? I use CoinX. This is another thing. I need to change all my charts from FXCM to Forex.com. Timeless holding sell positions on GU. Are you? We said we're going to leave GU alone because the dollar doesn't know what it wants to do until tomorrow for news. So we're leaving those USD cross pairs alone. No sleep yet? All right, Nas crossed down something. All right, it's at our rejection area. So let's see if we can get a rejection candle and buy up to the 50%. Let's see. Yep, tomorrow has high impact. That's why we waiting. Let's let the market tell us what it wants to do. If you look at GU right now, look at that hourly. It's like moving sideways. It's in a little triangle pattern, it looks like. All right, so we didn't get any rejection. We didn't get any rejection, but it could just be wicking down. We got 1 hour. I mean, not 1 hour. 2 minutes left in this hourly candle, and it still looks like it's gonna close above the zone. So let's see what happens. I guess we need to pull them back up side by side, huh? Let's see. All right, y'all see how that's closing underneath this gap? Got 2 minutes left in the hourly candle. Got a nice place. Next time I'm coming with you. I would definitely love. My parents just came back from Africa. For their third. They've been 3 times already this year. But my dad is a pastor here, and they've appointed him to be a bishop over there at one of the churches. So they go over there and they do mission trips, but not Ghana. They're in different areas. Let me see if I can find old messages about where they was at. Oh, I know what I can do. All right, so we got some rejection here on Nas. 1 more minute. 1 more minute for that to close. Why does search don't want to let me know? My dad must have deleted his text messages. You know, we on an iPhone or uh, he has an Android. I think that's why I can't see the back text messages. I don't know. Let's see if he's up because he's in Florida. It's 10:59 over there. All right, so this is a good sign. Price is closing underneath unless it wants to react to this gap right here. But we got 1 more minute left on odd cat. You targeting 120 pips short on GU. Hey J Claude, how you doing? Dynamic. You targeting 120 pips short on GU. All right, it's 10 o'clock, and let's look at this hourly candle on OddCat. All right, so that gave us some nice rejection, but it's definitely, this candle is still a doji, right? Because we got long wick on this side, long wick on this side, so it's still some indecision. Okay, but I think, did we set an alert for stop loss? As long as the alert doesn't go off, then we're gonna come off of this page and go back to one screen. Let's mark that right here. All right. All right. Dynamic. Let me show you. Let's look at GU real quick. You said you're in a short. So this is why I said don't touch. I'm not touching crosshairs right now. Oh, price just broke whatever this is on the dollar. All right, price has gotten on top of our fair value gap. Oh, snap, we might be getting a little retest. But at first we was moving sideways. Okay? So let's go to GU and see what's happening. Let's see what's happening. This might make me want to get up and trade Asia. I think that was our weekly CRT. If it is, then we surely could probably find us a trade. All right, so I'm gonna remark my CRT. I'm remarking the chart because it was a lot. I don't know what was going on. So I mark my high, my low, and 50%. Change my colors. All right, and then I see a fair value gap right here, so I'm gonna mark this area because it is NFP week. We could get some. No, we can, but NFP week we get some really good moves when news drops. All right. Hey Kay, you saying sell GU too? I think I'm gonna wait for London, but I want to see if we got any confirmations. Okay, so price ran our liquidity and it retested, Okay, and now we're under this gap. Yeah. Oh, okay. We got our little trend line here. Oh yeah, guys. Wait for price to come back here. Yeah, I'm a sell. Shout out to where you go, Macking. What's the best way to learn? Eve will be here starting next week at 8 p.m. And we're gonna do an hour beginners session. I gotta get the course together. You still here, guy? Macking. Where'd you go? Dynamic. Dynamic something. This is GU. This is GU. I'm setting my alert right here. Now, let's see how many pips it is. Cause I'm gonna take it to the 50% first, and then we'll see if it breaks and retests, and then I'll take it lower. So let's see how many pips we got. We'll do stop loss right here and TP here. So I got 74 pips. He said he's getting 120. Where he going? I don't know. Probably this right here. What we got on the 4 hour? Got a little trend line. Here. But I would stop here before I come here. And then I have another gap right here too. So actually, I just like to play it safe, and I like for my TP to get hit. I don't want to have to watch it. I want it to take me out the trade. 66 pips, a nice 7-1. That's nice. The 1 hour. Eve, yes, this is Forex. Gold moving slow. Yeah, I'm not touching that. I'll show you why I'm not touching it. What pairs this is GU. So I'm waiting for price to come back to this gap right here or come a little higher. Let's see if there's another gap closer to the trend line. Yep, there's a gap right here on the trend line. So I'm going to set my alert here, and then I'll watch to see if it's going to come up here. And that'll be our break and retest perfectly. Yep. And then I'm going to take it down to 50% of this 4-hour gap. Okay? So that's GU. We was watching Nas. So let's go back to Nas real quick, and then I'm gonna show y'all gold. We was watching Nas. What's it doing? All right, Nas is back under. Nas is back under, coming to this trend line, but I don't like too much drawdown, so we're trying to wait on our entry. Now, Nas, y'all, I'm taking it in demo because, like I said, we're doing a small account build, and I'm not taking it. So I'm checking time frames, just looking for a gap. All right, so I got a gap right here on the 5 minute, right on our 4 hour low. Okay, so I want to see price come back here. Let's see if price can come back here, and then we can get in and sell it to the trend line. And this is just for 4 hour Nas demonstration purposes only, and just to show you that you can trade Nas in any session. Okay, you can trade Nas in any session. Some days Nas just consolidates, but if you get your yeah, I could do a tutorial video on what CRT. If you get your confirmations, then take it. You know? Oh, snap. Is that rejecting that structure point and not gonna come back up? Look at that candle. This candle is gonna create a gap because this was some volume. Don't let nobody tell you that Asia ain't got no volume. Where are we selling GU? There's a gap on the 15 minute and there's a gap on the hourly. This ain't even gonna let us. And it's moving so fast. It's 11 o'clock. We got a new hour candle close. Okay, so we're gonna get a pullback since that candle closed. No, yeah. Just buy the candles, really. So you see how much momentum we got in this versus like these small candles. What do we have tonight? So we're waiting on a retest on GU, and we're gonna sell GU. Um, we got into AutoCAD. It's kind of playing around in our entry, and then I'm demonstrating CRT 4 hour move on Nas. All right, and what I tell you is gonna create a gap. All right, so now this will be our new entry point. Y'all don't have anything in the washing machine, do you? Check to see if Sienna got something in the washing machine. If she do, tell her she need to put it in the dryer. Okay. If I missed any question, just put it back in the chat. Thanks for the follow, guys. I appreciate y'all being active and interested and wanting to learn. And I'm glad that somebody caught some pips yesterday, and we gonna catch some pips. GU's gonna be a good trade. Just need to wait on that pullback. So I set the alert. So while we're here on the live, we got 40 more minutes. I am getting off at 11. I use CoinX and I use Tradeovate for futures. So CoinX for Forex and Tradeovate for futures. And then I use MT5 for CoinX. All right, we back at this area. I want to see if price is going to reject. All right, looks like we're getting further. Let's see if it's going to come back up here. Thank you, Kay, for the roses. If you're still in here, appreciate you. Thank you, Eve. I'm sure you are too. I am sure you are too. All right, so price created a price balance range right here. And a price balance range is when you have two fair value gaps, right? So this one is now an inversion because price came through and it didn't respect it. So when you have an inversion and a fair value gap in the same area, you know that price has to come back to this area because it's a big gap in the area in the market. All right, so now we're looking for price to come back up here to this 5 minute. And this would be our retest. Chris, are you still on here? Yep, GU is bearish. We're just looking for a pullback so we can get in. We're looking, so we got a break and retest on that trend line. Could you tell us? My local time is 10:13 p.m. All right, Chris. So you see how this traded below, and now we're gonna get our retest on this gap. This is a break and retest. This is what we want to look for. And then we still want to kind of be cautious because we got another gap right here that it could come back into. Okay. Be your mentor, sure. We're doing beginner sessions starting next week. Next week, 8. I was gonna say BM, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. for an hour. We'll do beginner sessions and then I'm getting sleepy, y'all. I'm drinking coffee. um 2 hours, and then the other 2 hours we'll do our markups and look for our trade. You're in Nigeria. What time is it there? We just had somebody on here from Ghana. I appreciate Africa tapping in. I love it. Thanks for the follow, guys. Could y'all tap and get the live to 5,000? We're at 4,476. UAE. That's United Emirates, something like that. Tell me what it stands for, so I can know from that one. It's 414. Okay, that's crazy. So, what's that? 6 hour difference? Yeah, 6 hours. Don't be laughing at me. I'm in the United States. What is it? Isn't it United something? I just want to say United, I guess, because I'm in the United States. I knew it was Emirates something. Okay, United Arab Emirates. Okay. Dubai. I'm coming to visit you. Maryland, but work there. Oh, okay. All right, let's go back on this 1 minute. I am on Central Standard Time. All right, so this is what we want to watch out for. Price hasn't reached up here. It looks like it's going to reject. Let's see if it comes back into here and goes up here and go lower. Or let's see if we can get underneath this. I was just able to do all of that with the thing on. Let's see if it gets underneath it and then retest and go lower. Okay. XRP going to the moon. I'm holding XRP, baby. I hold crypto more than I day trade it. We're looking at Nas. Hold on, somebody said you use a 50 lot. Oh no. I hope your account size can handle a 50 lot. That's crazy. Now I am gonna over leverage on this GU pair. I ain't gonna lie. I am not gonna lie. Currency pairs I over leverage all day. Now indices I'll stack the trades. Wait for structure to be broken, and then come back to structure and then do an entry. So whoever asked about GU, this is what we're looking for again. See how we had this little trend right here? Price couldn't, it consolidating in this area. So it created a trend line. Price broke it. So I want to see a retest. At first I was looking for price to come back to this 1 hour gap. And then I came down to the lower time frame and I saw this 5 minute gap, which is right on our trend line, which would give us a valid break and retest. So I would enter here and then I'll put my stop loss up here at this structure point. And then TP at this 4 hour gap. This 4 hour gap, and then I will wait for price to break this trend line and get a retest before I take it further down. Because I don't want to assume that price is going to break this because it could just bounce back up. I don't want to do that. This one was GU. GU. Take TP on the 1 hour. So I see these gaps right here, but this 4 hour gap is stronger because this is a big imbalance candle, right? So I would want to see this imbalance get full, and then price already hit 50%. Did you see that? Price already hit 50%. So I know it's coming lower. And inside this big candle is these two gaps. So I know price is going to violate them. So now I want to see price come down to here. Okay? That's why I set it on this 4 hour. Hi, you like to learn trading? We will be starting our beginner class on Monday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Come join us with your notebook. Okay? Why is this on every doggone chart? NZD Cat need to stop playing and continue down. What's Odd Cat doing? Bro. What is that? Is the laundry? The detergent? Price is still playing around this gap on Odd Cat. It's still playing around our entry. But this GU trade is what I really want. Shout out to whoever told us to look at GU. Sounds like lavender. All right, so price came into this gap. When did price hit this? I think we just missed price hit this. Let's see what it's doing. We did just miss this. Just that quick. Let's see if we can get a second touch. Yeah. So if you go to gold and look at that weekly, there's a gap right underneath last week's low. I'm waiting for price to get there on gold. And then we'll hopefully get a good spike on a buy. But if not, then I'm going to wait for price to get underneath it and then take it to that other gap. Okay. So good thing we missed it because it looks like it wants to trade underneath. All right. Price close under here. Then we can get in for this sale. $46 minutes. Just want price to close underneath this last candle. Got 9 seconds left on this 1 minute candle. Gap down. Thanks for the follow, guys. Thanks for liking the live. If we was here when this happened, we'd have got in right here. We'd have got in right here. And definitely when you see price bouncing off of a gap, move your stop loss to entry. You rather get out at break even than lose some money. All right, looks like we're coming back in the range. Look at that candle. It wants to come lower though. You see that gap right there? It wants to come. This is where patience comes in at, guys. Literally just sitting here watching these candles. And you know what? I love it so much. It's crazy. I think I'm kind of addicted to the charts because I'll be in the bed trying to watch a movie and I can't even focus because I'm back and forth just looking at the charts, going through all the charts. And then on the weekends, this is why I had to force myself to start doing something else. That's why I started credit repair, so that I'm not always sitting here looking at it. I'm just waiting on my alerts to go off. Yeah, it gets real. If price closes underneath this gap, because remember this is a 5 minute gap right here. Price close underneath, then I'm gonna enter. Oh, look at that, pushed on up. All right, so now we just continue to. Oh, we got another gap right here. We got another gap right here. Let's see what happens. Because this is a long drop, right? So this is where people use the fib, right? So on the fib, you got your high to your low. Oh, and it's right at the 618. Okay. So if it rejects right here on the 618, we can take it up. Okay, so now let's see what I see. I just saw this. We got another price balance range. We got another price balance range. We got an inversion and a fair value gap right here. So from what I was taught is price can come all the way back up to the 100%, which is our last structure point because it took us down to our last low, right? For the sell to still be valid. Sell becomes invalid when price breaks this structure and retests it. Okay? So we're still waiting. I almost want to log into my my prop firm account and take this trade because it's looking good. We're looking at Nas on the 3 minute. Now we're gonna go back down to the 1 minute because I didn't realize we was on the 3 minute. I was gonna say, what is so crooked? All right, so price rejected this 618, but I still want to see it come up here. I still want to see. The only way that I would be sure that price is gonna come back up here if price comes and closes back underneath our weekly low. Now this is the only way I use fibs. I only use fibs on minor structure on the lower time frames. Once you get to the higher time frames, putting fibs on the right structure can kind of be confusing. And I took Jessica Lane's course, and that's all she does is fibs. And whew, her course is something else. I still can't figure out her fib structure, but I felt the spirit telling me one day to go back and rewatch her course, and I have not done it yet. So I may just go back and rewatch it one day soon. It's a long course, just because I want to see how her fibs work on the higher time frames. But minor structure fibs, I love minor structure. This is Nas on the 1 minute. And then I want y'all to see something real quick. Let me move this. Y'all see how price rejected? And we know we had that price balance range, so I know price has to come back up here. But price left little tiny liquidity. That's also another reason why I know price is still trying to move back up. It left that these complete equal candles right here. When I tell you Nas used to give me whiplash, I be like, no, it's buying, no, it's selling. So I'm actually gonna set a limit. I'm gonna set a limit right here. Now let's, what is this? Why does stop loss look like that? We'll do stop loss here and TP down here in our 1 hour gap. This is demo, guys. This is demo. I'm really tempted to log into my account though. Why? Oh, because it was a buy. Why is it doing that? Nope. Oh, because we was looking for a buy at one point. Come on, come on. All right. My stop loss is here above this last little lower high area. So normally I would put my stop loss at the top of the candle that created the gap. Got to be more careful. I know I pressed limit. I know I did. Well, we're in it now. Why did it do me like that? Wasn't I just at the limit? This is another reason why you gotta practice in demo. So I'm new, but you just mentioned demo. Like, can you do a video on? Oh yeah, we can do that. Y'all see how I hit that and it's rejected? Now if my limit was set, our entry would have been better, but somehow I messed that up. I make mistakes too, guys. I make mistakes too. Like literally today, I was doing an NZD CAD sell and somehow I accidentally hit buy. Like I do it sometimes too. Oh, why am I trading at this time? Because 4 hour CRT works anytime as long as you have your confirmations. So, but this is on demo. We're doing this for demonstration purposes, and we also market up charts looking for our entries. And I said I would come back at 8 8, but I think I might come back for London because I think GU is gonna hit our entry during London, and I like how it rejected and then came back up. Better stop playing with me. We got 2 minutes left on this 1 minute candle. Chris, you still here? So I'm trying to get better with my schedule, and we'll start trading live at New York session. But tomorrow we'll trade live New York session 8 a.m. I might be on for London because I don't want to miss that entry on that GU trade. If I fall asleep, I'm not hearing any alerts. I'm not hearing any alerts. So if you're up at 2 a.m., that'd be London session. Just check to see if I'm live because I'm getting in that. But we come on at 8 every day. Starting next week, we're going to do beginner sessions for an hour. We're going to go over like beginner stuff. I got to figure out what the first week's worth of lessons are going to be. And then between 9 and 11, we'll do our chart markups and looking for entries and stuff. So that's what we've been doing. That's what we've been doing. All right, come on. We got 1 minute left in this 5 minute candle. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, yes. Oh, just trading? Yeah, I trade for a living. I trade for a living, and I also do credit repair and funding. So if you believe your credit is in good standing and you need some funding to put in your day trading account, click the link in my bio. If you are interested in fixing your credit, click the link in my bio. I got you. We're gonna wipe it off, and then I get you some funding. You're welcome, Ivy. Chris, I know you ain't went to sleep on me. I don't see your response. All right, and then also, guys, we are doing a small account. Blah, blah, blah. This person just see. I don't have time for it. We're doing a small account build, so we're doing $100 to $1,000. Is there news? We're doing $100 to $1,000 small account build. So if you want to join the Discord, I did a post on TikTok showing you how you can get in the Discord for free for 30 days, okay? Well, we got some good rejection, but it looks like price wants to move on to the upside. And it looks like it's going to stop us off. Another reason why it's in demo. I'm mad about this though. We gonna, as my mentor said, we gonna get it back in blood. We finna. I might not close this. We might not get off at 11 because if price breaks structure, then want to come back and see it retest. But it rejected at our gap beautifully, and then it was like, nope, we still buying. And see, the only reason why we're still looking for sales is to complete this move down on this trend line. We got 39 seconds. Let's see. And it's at the 786. And there's a whole nother gap right here. We're demonstrating the 4-hour CRT, the 4-hour CRT on Nas, and we are in demo. Hey, Virgin, thanks for joining the live. I believe you were here yesterday. So 7816 is another rejection area on the fib, the 800, and remember price can come all the way back to the 100 and still be in a sell trend. It's once price breaks it and gets on top of it, then that's when you'll look for buys. Price come back underneath this purple line. That's where our 5-minute fair value gap is. And then we'll really know it's real. Hey, it's 10:38. How was y'all day? Nobody told me about their day today. While we just been sitting here waiting on these charts. I know I told y'all about mine. I was up $70 on freaking NZD CAD, and I took my stop loss off because I know how spread does, but because I was over leveraging, I got stopped out. I got stopped out, so I'm building my account back to $100. Oh, we just got stopped out. We're gonna watch this. Cause what are you doing? 10:38. So, yep, we're just gonna watch it. Cause again, we're still in a sell trend until price breaks this area. Let's see if we can get another entry, but I'm not gonna rush the entry. Just like we didn't rush this one. Price came back to our balance range, our price balance range here on the 3-minute right here. So if we can get underneath this and back underneath this weekly, I'll definitely wait for price to get back underneath this weekly. 4-hour, not the weekly, 4-hour. Short. I was gonna say short on AAA. Well, we was just in shorts. We got stopped out. Price came back to this price balance range right here, and it gave us a little nice rejection or whatever, and then it decided that it wasn't ready. So it depends on the pair, right? For Nas, the best time to really trade it is New York session, but I was just demonstrating the 4-hour CRT and how that works. And so we are in demo on this. Now we are in a live trade on odd cap. And then in the morning we'll get up London. Okay, thanks. I am gonna get up London. I'm gonna set my alarm. I'm gonna take a little nap and I'm gonna get up London to catch that GU trade. And price want to come up to the 886 and then reject. Stop us out and stuff. I'll check the DM version when we get off a live. I'm gonna set my alarm right now though. I'm getting up. I barely sleep anyways. I might not even go to sleep because I've been drinking this coffee. Is Joe in the bed? Y'all need to put y'all phones in Joe. Put your phone in that VR in my room. You trying to find your phone? When the last time you seen it? Hey, yes. This is Forex. Well, this chart is a futures chart, but yep, we're trading. So today I am down. I'm down $30. Yeah. We caught that odd CAD trade last night. Did you get in that? We caught that all CAD trade, and I was up on that. We caught 38 pips, and then I got into NZD CAD, and we was up another 30 pips, and then spread hit us. Well, hit me, and I was over leveraging on that trade. He's downstairs, and so that took me out, and I lost some money. So, but we're doing a small account challenge. So when I do, excuse me, a small account challenge, I'm doing it with everybody. Trying to tighten up my risk management too, because I do like to over leverage. I love to over leverage. I'm probably gonna over leverage on this GU trade because it looked real nice. But no, I'm not, because we got news at 7. We got news at 7, so I'm not gonna over leverage on it. All right, we coming back down. Come on. Price get back underneath this price balance range. I kind of want to get in there, but then got to remember this 4 hourly low. 4 hour low acts as a zone too. So I don't want to get in and then price bounces and then goes higher. So we're just going to wait for price to get under this 4 hour. And I'm going to set an alert on price crossing down. It's already set. And then we'll set an alert on price crossing up. So whether it, what was that? That wasn't the right one. This one. Hmm. Yeah. Why do you keep playing with me? Oh, because I have one here. All right. Then we'll set an alert on price crossing up. So either way it goes, but they finna give me my little $200 back in demo money. Y'all see my paper trading account? This started at $100,000. This is what I mean. Practice in demo. Practice in demo. ICT with Romeo CRT zones. Let me show y'all this GU trade for the people that just came in. And then the person who asked about gold, you still in here? Are you still in here? I need to move GU up. So this is what we're waiting on. And this is why I don't always patterns, right? Because somebody will look at this and say this is a flag pattern, right? And a flag pattern is supposed to go higher. But this broke our trend line. So now I'm looking for a retest. Originally, I was looking for a retest here on this hour. So this is a break and retest trade. Um, I've been in Asia session since the president got in office because he do crazy stuff. But but we're not trading Nas live right now. We will get up tomorrow and trade Nas live at 8. We got some news tomorrow at 7:15, 7:30, 9 o'clock. Okay. And then 10 o'clock is ICT Silver Bullet session anyways. So we'll be on at 8 and we'll patiently wait for a trade. All right. So we're just waiting for price to cross. We can finish some of these markups because we didn't finish all. I want to go through and see what else we got. Hey, what's up? Yeah, my daughter said go like her new TikTok. What is your TikTok? Barbie doll? Tips for Asia, especially swinging. Always keep your stop at the swing low. No, that swing low is too far. That's too far. I don't like a big stop loss. I'd rather get stopped out and then reassess. UJ. All right, UJ get on top of this 4 hour gap. We end to take it higher. Because I got this weekly gap up here. You gave me gold. Take. I want to see price come up here. Price just barely. It didn't even run our low yet though. It didn't even run our low. Hmm. Okay. How do I do that? We'll do it later or tomorrow. I gotta do it while you on it. Are you in here? I don't see you. How do I make you a mod? I did. Oh, there you go. Okay. You can do all that, right? Mm-hmm. Thank you. I got the best kids in the world, y'all. I love my babies. A lot of people can't say that. No, let me stop. uh, GJ. Still want to see price come down here. Trying to figure out where did we finish. Okay, I think CAD JPY. Nope, that's marked up. Hey, Lyra. AJ. Who's looking for a break and retest? Gold looks like, I mean, not gold. Dollar looks like it could be retesting this area right here, which is 50% of this fair value gap. This retest right here and go higher, then for sure that's gonna make our GU trade, our GU sell valid. Which, speaking of that, we could look for sales on EU too. I said 100,000 alerts. My chart still isn't clear. I'm just moving through it pretty fast. I think that's all it is. It's fuzzy. This is why I don't like TikTok Studio. I don't know, guys. And they won't give me permission to trade on Restream. Where the settings go? Did I turn it off? I don't know what that did. Where is, let's see. See, I'm not getting any frame drops here. I don't think I can change it while it's on live. Oh, here we go. See, video quality says 720p. Setting the stream latency will synchronously delay your live in audio. Try turning it off if the screen turns green. I can't change the quality any more than what it is. It don't give me the option to. Hopefully, so I signed up with a TikTok, I don't know, affiliate team or whatever, and she said she was gonna contact TikTok to try to get my permissions back so that I can multi-stream, because at first I was multi-streaming through Streamlabs, and maybe because I went to restream, maybe I need to go back to Streamlabs. So I'll try that tomorrow and see if it allows me to stream again through Streamlabs, because we didn't have any of this like you where you keep hearing that sound. We didn't have none of that because I wasn't using TikTok Studio, and now it seems when I start using TikTok Studio, we're having all kinds of issues, but it hasn't frozen the past few minutes. But I'm sorry it's fuzzy. There's nothing else I can do about it right now. But I'll work on it tomorrow. Is this our weekly? Oh, GBP odd ran our weekly high. Let's see if we up. Okay. We can have a CRT sale move on GBP odd. So, if you're new here and I haven't explained the CRT to you, it's just marking up your high, your low, and 50%. So let me remark it because I got a bunch of lines. I don't know. All right. So I use on currency pairs. This is GBP on currency pairs. I like to do my monthly, my weekly, and um, my daily CRT. But I mainly stick to monthly and weekly because you get more pips. And so you mark up the candle before the current candle. All right. So you mark up the high, you mark up the low, and 50% of the candle. Let me change my lines because my CRT range lines are black and then my fair value gaps are purple. Okay. Mark up the range. You want to see either the high being ran or the low being ran. Okay. Right now we're on the weekly. So as you can see, this is this week's candle and the high was ran and now price came back into the zone. So now I came down here to this lower time frame, excuse me, and I have a fair value gap right here. Okay? So that is where I want to see price come back to. It'll basically retest my weekly, and then if we get some rejection, I'm gonna trade that down, which would align with our GBP sales, right? So I'm gonna go to actual GBP and let's look at what GBP is doing also. Heck yes, I'm getting up for London, y'all. GBP is showing some good stuff. Do we have any GBP news? No GBP news. Okay. I'm definitely gonna be up at 2 though. I want to move this up and put that on yellow because I'm waiting on an entry. And then let's go to GBP. All right, let's mark up GBP. So I'm going to do the same thing on GBP. If you don't know, oh, stupid that. If you don't know, you can come over to the futures chart. And you know how there's a DXY chart for the dollar? They have future charts for each currency pairs. So when I want to cross-check something, I'll look at the pound by itself, or I'll look at euro by itself, or CAD by itself. Give money on TikTok. You need $23 to get home. Oh, sorry, wolves. All right. So now I'll mark this high and this low. And then 50% of the range, just like I did the other one. And then now we'll come back down to the lower time frame. All right, and currently, doesn't this somewhat look like GBP to you? Looks like GU. Let me show you GU. See that? So it's telling me that GBP is selling too, which I love. So yeah, I'll be here at 2. Because London session is when GBP is most active. I like how that looks. Okay, so that was GBP odd. I don't know why that's blue, but I'm gonna move it up. What else we got? We did DJ, EJ. Okay, we got our alert. Let's go back to Nas. Let's see if it broke a low or did it trade above. Looks like it's going higher. All right. It didn't break it, but it's there. So now technically we could still get a sell because it hasn't broken structure yet. Hey Ernest. Okay. I see liquidity right here though. So we could possibly be getting our full 4-hour CRT move, okay? So for whoever wasn't here, we got time. Let's remark this real quick so I can show y'all what we were looking for. So on indice pairs, I like to use the 4-hour range. Sometimes the weekly range works out. I think, no, this week didn't hit. So sometimes the weekly range works out, but 4-hour is better on indices. So we're just going to mark up the last 4-hour candle, just like we did the other ones. Our low, our high, and then 50% of the range. TP is 50% of the range, okay? If you want to go higher, you just use this as a zone, wait for price to break and retest it, and then you can take it up there, okay? Now we come down to the 1 minute. And at first we was looking for sales because price was giving us our downtrend structure, okay? I'm waiting on this structure to break and leave us with some type of gap or give us some type of retest, and then we can take it back up here to 50% of that 4-hour, okay? If price doesn't break, I still want to wait for price to come underneath here. We have a fair value gap right here on the 30-minute time frame. And then price is also inside of this like channel. We have a channel right here, and price is inside of this trend line. Hold on. Which made me believe that price was going to come down. But the one confirmation that we did have, the trade didn't hold up. Okay. And looking at the way this 30-minute candle closed, this pattern right here, this is looking bullish. Oh, I love me a trend line. I sure do. Break and retest all day long. ICT concepts with CRT zones. Okay. So as you can see, we're inside this channel. So this is why I was looking for price to continue lower, but it doesn't want to get under this 4-hour CRT range just yet. Kaya, Sienna, is Kaya in there? Did you take her out to use the bathroom? Okay. All right, so we're going to go back to the 1 minute. What do we have? We don't have any. What is that noise? Is that you? Oh, I thought she was in here playing with something. I don't see any gaps. Then there's this 1 hour gap, same gap. 15-minute in the same area, but maybe it wants to do its reversal. So CRT stands for candle range theory, and it's just that every candle trades into the next, right? So you see how price goes back into the other candles unless it creates a gap. So that's what CRT ranges is just trying to catch price going back to 50% of that candle. Hi, is this GU? This is Nas on the 1 minute. We're looking for sales on GU. We're waiting for price to either come back into that 1 hour gap, or we're waiting for price to come back into that 15-minute gap. So price action, yes. I kind of took everything that I learned, because I learned from a lot of different people. I bought a lot of different courses to learn, and I kind of took a little bit of everybody's strategy and added together what worked for me. GJ, do I have a specific type of setup? My favorite setup is CRT or impulse, correction, and then continuation. It's zoomed out. Is it still zoomed out? Because I haven't moved it. Yeah, but like, what is it? I just said CRT, candle range theory. Look it up. Or you can go to my page. I have a small video on it. CRT, candle range theory, is just basically that every candle trades back into the one before. Oh my gosh, explain step 1, 2, and 3. We just did, but okay. All right, y'all. I'm going to set an alert right here. I'm going to go back to CAD CHF because we caught this. Well, I can go to AutoCAD because we just caught this AutoCAD trade today doing CRT. AutoCAD. All right. First step. Currency pairs, I like to use my monthly or my weekly candles because they give you more pips. So, first step is to mark your high, your low, and 50% of your range, okay? And you're marking the candle before your candle that you're on now. I don't think you're understanding your question. You said explain step 1, 2, and 3, so I'm explaining to you step 1, 2, and 3. First step is to mark up your range. You got it? Okay. Second step is to wait for price to run your high or your low of your range. Price ran our high. Okay? So price ran our high. Trying to figure out where we entered at. Okay, here we go. Price ran our high. And I posted this trade on, it swept, the liquidity sweep. I posted this on TikTok too, the trade that we caught this last night. So price ran our high, and then price broke our structure, okay? So this point right here was our last structure point because this was our last low that led us to our high. Price broke our structure. Now, once price breaks structure, you want price to break structure with a fair value gap. So price created a fair value gap. Price came back into the gap, okay? And you enter at 50% of the gap, and you take the trade back to 50% of the range, okay? I have my stop loss up here, but normally my stop loss is above the candle that created the gap. But because this was during Asia session, I didn't know what was going to happen. I was just like, I'm going to put my stop loss above the high, okay? And then we took the trade down to 50% of the range. It's just that simple. And that was a nice 3-to-1. And we caught that yesterday. Okay? So I do have a video explaining the CRT range. Okay, so what's best higher time frame candle to trade? I like the weekly. I like the weekly on currency pairs, and I like the 4-hour on Nas. Yeah. which is what we have marked up here. This is our 4-hour range. Okay, and we're just demonstrating the H4 on Nas. But we'll be back to live trade it tomorrow at 8, and I'll be back at 2 also because I want to get in that GU trade with a good entry. A position trader, I don't know what that means. A position trader. It does work on lower time frames, but I like so if you like the scout for sure, you can use it on the H1. But I be trying to get more pips. But basically, if you use it on the lower time frames, you can also use it for entries, right? Because again, candle range theory is every candle trades back into the next. So you see how this candle traded into this one traded into that one, this candle traded into that one. So you're trying to wait for it to come back to 50%. And sometimes you can get those, when you get those engulfing candles, you'll take your rectangle tool and then let price come back to 50% and then enter. Don't ever enter at the top of an engulfing candle. Y'all, there's so many trading terms. I have no idea what DOL is. I know what FVG is, it's fair value gap. I know what my CRT is, but what's DOL? I don't know what that is. You really want to learn but don't understand nothing y'all talk about. I understand bridges. Next week, Monday, 8 p.m., we're starting our beginner classes. We'll be learning beginner stuff at 8 p.m. We'll do it for an hour, and then our next couple hours we'll be doing our markups. Draw on liquidity. Okay, makes sense. Got it. This is Forex futures on this Nas right here. So now I'm gonna start. No pocket options. Y'all, I did try pocket options. I got 8 up. 8 up. I was like, what? Everybody was making money on pocket options. I was like, oh, let's see how this works. Heck no. So you can tell if it's going to be respected by waiting on your rejection candle or your rejection candlestick patterns, your patterns. Okay, because a lot of times these gaps get disrespected. So we got this little gap right here that price is holding on to. It took us lower. It hit it 3 times, right? Pocket options is what is it, high trade frequency or whatever. They basically um bet on like the movement of candles. So you can say the candle is going bullish, and then you have like whatever time that they set. I think you can do 5 seconds, you can do a minute, you can do an hour, but the candle has to end in the direction of whatever bet or trade that you place in order for you to make the money. No, unfortunately, there's no way to know before it trades there because it could get traded through. All we know is price is coming back to the area. And if it does get traded through, then you use it. You use it as a retest, right? But either way, it's going to let you know which direction it's going. You respectfully disagree? Well, educate me. How do you know that it's going to be respected? This is futures. If there's an order block paired with it, I'm gonna I'm gonna watch and I'm gonna test that out for the next month. If there's an order block paired with the gap, it'll be respected. Because I guess it'd be double confluence. So it sounds like it should be right. I'm gonna take notes and I wanna watch. And if it's right, I'll implement that. First fair value gap after 9:30. I thought it was after 10 for the silver bullet. I thought it was after 10 o'clock, not 9:30. Make sure I'm not missing nothing. Show an example of fair value gap in an order block. Let's find it. Model is a strong pattern. Fair value gap paired with breaker block. Unicorn model. That's why I was like, I'm trying to learn the exact names because some people say unicorn and turtle soup, and then it looks the exact same. So I think I need to go back and watch the ICT's unicorn versus his turtle soup. I'm gonna do that. It's 12:14. Y'all volume is really low now. Do you think it's going down to the I said so because just because it's still in this channel and I just want to see price come back down here and then we had this gap right here. But volume has completely slowed down. Completely slowed down. So I think we're just gonna finish marking up the rest of our charts so that I can take a little nap and then come back at 2. Cause I'm more concerned now with GBP USD. But go through the chart real quick and find me one. Find me a gap that's paired with an order block. Good luck trading. Thanks. No, before you go, you show me so I can see a gap that's paired with a order block. So here's an order block, and here's a gap. We got an order block right here. Like a previous order block at price level. Turtle soup is totally different. A unicorn turtle soup is just a liquidity sweep. And see, a lot of people was well, not a lot of people. Um, you wish it was on your setup. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch because I said I stopped calling it. Um, okay, right here we got a gap and an order block. Is this what you're saying is considered a high probability gap? Natiro, look for them inside macros as well. But it's not high probability. Yeah, that's why I said I just like to wait on price to tell me if it's going to reject or if it's going to trade through. Because at the end of the day, I'm still going to watch it. If it trades through, then I'm just going to wait for price to come back to it. Happy back tested. I told you I'm gonna see. That's one thing I'm gonna do. I don't reject anything that's uh similar to my strategy. Now anything that's different, I ain't trying to learn nothing too different. But this is similar, and you definitely talking ICT. What instrument are we trading? Right now this is Euro NZD. So right now I'm just gonna go through the ones that I haven't marked up and just see if price ran weekly highs. Last 10 minutes. Now where did you learn this? Because I've never heard of this one. Now you're gonna be having me look into macros. I would agree with you, Tim. I would agree with you. That liquidity sweep, that breaker structure, coming back into that fair value gap all day long. That's why I said I'm getting up for GU because that's what we got. I'm getting up for GU. I'm taking that trade. Where'd it go? Price making its way on up too. I was gonna say I'm getting notifications from TikTok. Like, what is that? So, I just became a TikTok shop affiliate somehow, and they want me to promote stuff to sell, and I'm like, I think that's gonna mess up my algorithm, and I think it's extra work that I don't want to do. So now they blowing up my email, trying to make me post stuff to sell. I must have started late because we just met the 3 hour mark. I think I did. All right, real quick, we're gonna run through the rest of these, and then I'm gonna get off of here, and I'll be back in a couple hours because I'm getting up to see what happens with GU. All right, so nothing there. We're way too far here. Nothing there. All right, we got a low here. I see a gap down here, but this would coincide if GBP is selling, then Euro GBP should buy. So that would make sense. It's a nice range. Okay. Oh, we forgot about AU. AU and GU has this gap right here. We might get lower than our low. AU already played out. AU CRT already played out. Price came in and broke that structure, came back to this gap, traded to 50%. We got equal lows right here though. Bam. Right there. It's coming back down. Oh, it's in consolidation too. It played out nicely though. It's a nice little range. Let's see. looks like trash. Nothing happened there. Nothing happened there. And then we back on EU. Nothing happened there. We're too far away. All right, guys, we went through all the pairs. It's still 80 of y'all on here. I appreciate y'all being here. All right, Tim, you have a good day too. All right, y'all, it's 11:23. I'm gonna take a quick nap, and I'm getting back up for GBP because GU and GBP odd is giving us setting up for some nice pips. I'm gonna wait for price to come back here on GBP odd, and same thing on GU, waiting for price to come back up in here, okay? So I'll be back at 2 Central Standard Time, 3 Eastern Standard Time, which is the start of London, okay? All right. If you're new here, I am Sierra, the Wealth Empress. I'm your day trading, credit, and funding strategist, okay? If you need help with day trading, on Monday, we are starting our beginners session. At 8 o'clock, we're going to do an hour of beginner stuff, okay? And then between 9 and 11, we'll do our chart markups, look for entries, okay? And then if you need help with credit repair, click the link in my bio. If you believe your credit is where it needs to be and you want some extra money for trading, click the link in my bio. It's the funding link, and then credit repair says credit enhancement, okay? All right, guys, I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Hopefully you guys will be up. Have a good evening.